Shamini. I live in London, and I'm here to just share my journey. For me, it's an amazing journey because I never thought at 45 years old I would be where I am today. Okay, my first appointment, I didn't know what to expect, and going in, I felt a bit overwhelmed because I didn't really know what was going to happen, how it's going to be like. But I must say, they were very welcoming. I think I saw the dietitian first, and she was very welcoming, and she gave me enough information not to overwhelm me. So I had enough to get me going, and then she passed me on to the physiotherapist, who also talked to me about going to the gym. He just said, "Have you been to the gym? Have you ever been to the gym?" I said, "No." And he was like, "Well, why don't we just start going to the gym?" And he gave me a very short, program to do, very simple things. And he said, "You see a trainer there," because I think when the first time you go to the gym, they introduce you to the equipment. And so I found that really simple. It was very it was easy for me to understand and easy for me to carry out. I think for my first visit, they explained enough for me to know the way forward, not completely, and I think that's good, because if they give us too much information, it might put some people off or make them feel nervous, and they might not come back, So I think they gave me enough information for me to know what was ahead, but not too much that I was overwhelmed. I think the first few visits I didn't have many questions because for me it was more about learning from them, and I knew this was something that I wasn't very knowledgeable about, and I knew they were the experts, and I would learn from them. I'm the kind of person who learns from people and then finds out more by reading, And so, but along the way, as they were talking to me, I would have questions for them, and sometimes they wouldn't have the answers to it, but they were really good. We would Google it together, and I remember very clearly when I put on my 500 grams at the 5th month. I was like, I had lots of caramel macchiatos that month, and I wanted to know how many calories were in one. And we Googled it, and parent said, "This is what you've been having," and I was like, it was a light bulb moment for me. I don't have any more caramel macchiatos these days. I think the first few visits, I got quite a lot of handouts, and one which I found really helpful, and they were really kind. They actually mailed it to me, I think, because they didn't have it in-house. It was like a little card with how to read labels, and they taught me how to read labels, to look at how many % of fat, and look at the sugar levels, and that was really helpful to me. I used to carry that little card in my wallet. They had also some handouts on portions, on the types of food, where the categories are, so and what's a healthier option. I found that really useful. For me, being able to visualize the portions were very important, because I know maybe you can buy those scoops, but to see it, because for me I need to see, okay, how much are we talking about, how much vegetables. So they have this pie chart that they show you, and that's that I found that really helpful. For me, the communication was mainly between my dietitian and physiotherapist. I didn't see anyone else, and they worked very well together. Both of them knew what each of them was doing with me and how I was progressing, which was really important, because you don't want to go to one person and feel that they don't know what's going on the other side. So every time I went, of course, the first thing is you're excited to weigh yourself in. They always know, okay, I know you cannot wait to weigh yourself. And so everybody would be excited, and either the physiotherapist or the dietitian, depending on who you see first, would be, "Oh, I've heard you lost that much weight." It's quite exciting. But what I want to say to everyone is that this journey is not an easy journey. the main thing is you must keep your lines of communication open with your physiotherapist and your dietitian. You must be honest with them, because if there's no honesty, then actually you're just hiding from them, and I just feel you're not going to get the support that you really need. And for me, they started with half-an-hour sessions, and then we went on to 1-hour sessions, which I felt were really valuable, especially with the physiotherapist and the dietitian sometimes, depending, but they worked out the schedule really well, and I was very happy with the time that was spent with me. At one time, I think I was seeing them maybe twice a month sometimes, maybe in the beginning. Then it went on to once a month, but once a month is just nice. Once you get going, once a month is just right to see progress and all that. I was really well taken care of. I was very happy with the health professionals. I really liked the team who took care of me. I built a bond with them. I trusted them, and I completely had confidence in them because they gave me a lot of information which was really helpful, and they were there to support me as I went through my journey. And the reason I'm doing this actually is because I feel very grateful to them, and because my life has changed forever. So I for that 2 years that I was with them, I really felt that they were there for me to support me and were always on my side, someone who's just there helping you on your journey, just trying to make your journey as smooth as possible. If I come to them with a problem or if I ask them something, they're always there for me. Yes, many times I could email them. I could even call them on their phones, on their official telephone lines, leave messages for them. I didn't need it that often, but if I did, they would be there for me. So throughout my experience with the team, I felt that they treated me with politeness and consideration at all times, and that is really important. I've been there. When you go to a service, you don't want splashed about, the weight dietitian and weight services or whatever on the door. So they're very discreet, and when you go for your appointments in the GP, like I went to my GP, they would have a sign that just said SWMS, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the sign there, so that is your clinic, and then they will call you personally. You don't sign in or anything, so you wait just outside the door and they will call you in, and it's really discreet. They're really polite, they're really considerate, they really care about your feelings. That is how I felt personally, and I felt very valued by them. And a lot of them say, you don't need to thank us because you are the one who did the hard work. Whenever I see my GP or see the nurse who referred me, or see the physio dietitian, I always say thank you, and they don't thank us because you did all the hard work. But if without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it. 44 years of my life, I didn't do anything of that. But with them, I managed to achieve something amazing. Till today, I cannot believe I lost all that much weight, and I'm so healthy. I feel so healthy, and this is how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I have no doubt about it. This is something I'm going to maintain. But what really surprised and worried me at the end of I didn't know it was coming to the end of my service anyway. I was that when I realized, I think maybe 4 months before my 2 years was up, that they weren't going to be there for me after 2 years, especially if I had achieved the desired weight loss, because I think they measured your body fat and then whether you're in a critical level or not. So I didn't need that anymore, and they did tell me, you're probably going to have to let you go at the end of 2 years. And I was really upset and stressed about it, and they knew about it. And every month, for me, from then on, it was like a countdown. I felt I felt that I needed more support. I felt they should not have let me go. I know it's not their choice because it's their budget constraints as well, and it's how the service is run. I understand that. I don't blame them for it, and I've always told them I don't blame you guys, even though I come in and I'm saying, oh, don't let me go, and I want to write letters, I want to put it on paper that I'm not happy that I'm being let go. They know that, and I say I hope that this will change, because definitely after such a life-changing experience, you really need help. 2 years is not a long time, because by the time you start losing weight, it's 6 months, 12 months down the road. So when you, like for me, I lost weight in 1 year and then tried to lose a little bit more and maintain it for another 6 months. But ultimately, I still think I need the support. It's really important, and I mean, I would say I'm probably better off than other people, maybe because I really have had a lifestyle change. So for me to fall off the wagon is not that easy. But for others, I feel it might be quite, I mean, if they have other issues as well, if they were seeing the psychologist, so they have other issues, I think it's quite a hard thing to do, to just be, cut off that way. So. For me, I felt really well taken care of. I think I didn't really have, if I had any, I won't say problems, but if I had any queries or I reached a roadblock, I always could discuss it with them, or I could even email. But most of the time, I was able to discuss it with them, and we talked it out, and I didn't have really many problems. In between, as I was doing my gym, I did have some injuries, which were from before, but which came up because of the gym. And the physiotherapist was really kind, put me on to, she even referred me to a podiatrist when my feet were were in pain, and that was really helpful. And if I had any injuries, she would help me by doing some massages, and she even taught me some exercises to help me in the gym to strengthen my problems are always my knees. So she always helped me there. And I had a problem with my shoulder. She monitored it so well. She was really kind and so understanding, because I was in so much pain, but I wanted to do gym. So she helped me ease into the gym despite my injury, and told me what to do, what not to do. She even sent me to the hospital for a X-ray and for further treatments. Finally, thank God, I didn't need it. But basically, I felt, for me personally, all my treatment needs were well met. There's no issue at all as to, I have nothing but praise for the service. I felt very valued, I felt taken care of, I felt they gave me so much, they were very kind, and they were very discreet as well. I thought that was really important for this service. You need to give them that support, and after that, you need to have a more holistic plan for them, because I feel that it's not there. I say this, but I have nothing but praise for that 2 years of support, and I know it's how the service is run. It's not the fault of the people who handle me, who were my pillars of strength, I would say. But you have that 2 years, and then I think you need to have an additional maybe 2 years of hand holding, I call it, as I've told them. And then, of course, when you lose, a lot of the people who come to this service, they're going to lose a lot of weight. And that means other problems, Some people probably have psychological problems because they don't see themselves at that size anymore, and they can develop other body issues. Like for me personally, it is excess skin. When you lose that amount of weight, and even though you go to the gym often, you still cannot get rid of that excess skin. And there doesn't seem to be a service for that, because for a lot of people it causes psychological problems. It's also physical problems, because you get a rash, you get skin problems because of the folds of the skin. So I just feel there is no follow through. I feel it needs to be a holistic kind of treatment. So if you want people to lose weight and maintain it, it needs to be holistic. You need to hold their hands, make sure they go on this journey, they continue on this path, and so that you're not going to have to take care of them down the road, coming back to all their bad habits and then putting on all the weight. And then of course there's this, for me, I cannot stress enough, the excess skin is not cosmetic surgery. They refer to it as cosmetic surgery. It's not. It affects people psychologically. It is physically uncomfortable because you get rashes, you get skin problems, as I said. So it needs to be something that's offered. It shouldn't be something that you have to beg for, especially when you read in the newspapers of how people are getting breast enlargement surgeries. I understand for victims of breast cancer, but I would think this is the same, and they deserve it. If they have achieved success and they want to have a full and wholesome life, it's something that they probably need to do for themselves. They can choose whether to take it or not, because ultimately it is elective surgery, but I just feel that it's something that should be made available, and that this service, it is fantastic, but it needs to be more holistic, and it needs to be better at dealing with the patients after success.